Sponsored by Bangtak, Sustainable Business Development in Harmony with the Environment and Society. Siam Commercial Bank. Well, later this year, India is planning to host an India-ASEAN summit for the ASEAN leaders, which will focus on India's connectivity with the ASEAN region. And Kunopakun Limsamanpan, our editor, will have an exclusive interview with India's ambassador to Thailand, His Excellency Anil Wadhwa, in towards 2015. We have more to review better.
Today, my guest is Excellency Anil Wadhwa, the Indian ambassador to Thailand. So welcome to the program, Excellency.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I understand that India is going to have a summit with the ASEAN leaders later this year in December in New Delhi.
Yes.
What is the agenda for this Indian ASEAN summit, Excellency?
Well, this is a special occasion because we are celebrating 20 years of our relationship with ASEAN. And the summit is going to be held from the 19th to the 22nd,
yes.
Including the senior officials meeting, etc., which will be held before the summit. Most of the ASEAN leadership is going to come to the summit. Yes. And before that, as a run-up to this summit, we've had a number of events to celebrate this relationship.
Yes.
As you know, the relationship between India and ASEAN stretches across various sectors. And we have given it some concrete shape now in view of the summit by concentrating on areas like connectivity, yes, which is very important for all of us, but also some frontier areas like science and technology, biodiversity, yes, environment, trade, investments, and also space research and information technology.
Yeah.
Now, as a run-up to the summit, also we've organized a number of meetings, yes, at the ministerial level in New Delhi, some of which have already taken place. The others are going to take place between now, yes, and December. And the summit is going to come up with some concrete plan of action, yes, of the future direction between India and ASEAN. So we consider this a very important summit meeting.
I hope that our Prime Minister Kun Yingluck Shinawatra will also attend the summit, right?
Yes, we are very happy that there are indications that she will definitely attend.
And of course other ASEAN leaders as well.
And other ASEAN leaders as well.
And Excellency, please explain about the connectivity. I understand that it's between India and ASEAN countries. We have 10 member countries. So how this connectivity concept will work?
Well, as you know, connectivity has been talked about in ASEAN for a very long time. And what has been talked about is the horizontal and the vertical corridors, yes, of connectivity. That includes railroads, road highways, and other forms of transportation, including multimodal transportation.
Yes.
At the same time, in this region, we have some countries of the region who are also part of some other regional organizations. Take, for example, the BIMSTEC. Yes. Now, as far as the funding for these projects is concerned, the main players here are the Asian Development Bank, the ADB,
yes,
and to a certain extent the World Bank. Other than the bilateral sources of funding. As far as India and Thailand and Myanmar are concerned, we have an agreement since 2002.
Yes.
We also have an agreement in the context of the ASEAN to set up an ASEAN-Asian highway. And the trilateral highway is the agreement that we have between our three countries of Thailand, Myanmar and India. So we have a working group which has been meeting regularly till 2008. Now that working group has been revived.
Yes.
And as you know, just about a few weeks ago, when our Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh visited Myanmar,
yes,
India agreed to extend a line of credit to Myanmar for $500 million,
yes,
of which $100 million will be utilized for the construction of this trilateral highway from our border with Myanmar at More Tamu down to Mandalay. And after that, we will connect up to a place till where the Thai authorities are building a highway,
Yes.
which is 63 kilometers in length from the Thai border into Myanmar, because after that the road already exists.
I see.
So, as part of this effort, Indian government will also, through its agencies who are building the road, reconstruct 72 bridges. And these bridges are very important because they would allow freight to move across the borders,
Cargoes,
cargo
freight,
and container shipments. And that is why the trilateral highway will become important for trade. And when you have trade, then obviously the highway will be used much more, bringing about employment generation as well as investments in the countries that it passes through. And we also hope that it will give a fillip to the investment and the trade generation in our own border areas of the northeast. Later on, of course, we can have some connectivity between all the 3 or 4 bordering states of India which border Myanmar.
Yes.
And if there is connectivity to ports like Dawei and to Sitwe, which we have talked about in the past before, then we can have a flourishing region, and it would benefit all the 3 countries.
I see.
But in this context, let me also talk about the BIMSTEC cooperation project of development of a multimodal transport system which involves the Sitwe port. And that project has been agreed upon some time ago.
How many countries in BIMTEX?
Well, there is India, Thailand, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Cambodia, and we
5, yes.
yes, we hope that we will be able to revive the old projects that we've talked about, because we were lacking a secretariat so far. But now that the secretariat has been set up in Bangladesh, we will be able to move forward with this.
One of the main agreements are the physical connectivity of the trilateral agreement between India, Myanmar, and Thailand, and how opening up India's northeastern states and southeastern Asia could be beneficial to all.
So, Excellency, you're saying that the trilateral agreement between India, Myanmar, and Thailand for the physical connectivity, building highways, is also part of the BIMSTEC connectivity.
It is, I would say, BIMSTEC connectivity is part of the ASEAN connectivity, and the trilateral highway occupies a central place, because unless that's in place, then you cannot have the others.
How many kilometers altogether in this trilateral highway?
The total conceptualization was for 3,200 plus kilometers.
Oh.
But the portion that we will be building in this context in Myanmar would at the moment would be 1,600 plus kilometers.
And in India, you also have some.
We will be building the highway from a border of More.
And what state of India?
It will connect up to Guwahati in Assam. Then, of course, later on, as I told you, we will have connectivity through to the other bordering states as well.
I see.
But more importantly, I think it's a question of free movement of goods, and eventually we hope that this will lead to all-round economic development.
So, how much money will be needed for this project in addition to the $500 million you mentioned that the Indian
No, as I said,
government-
the credit line that we've extended is specifically for the highway is just $100 million.
I see.
And the rest of the money will be raised by the governments concerned, including Myanmar from its own resources. But I think a majority of the funding which will come from this line of credit would be enough to get this project going.
And into Thailand, in what city or what area that from Myanmar, according to this project?
Well, very importantly, it is going to link up with the area which borders Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai.
In the north.
Yes, and then that area can also link up to Dawei, which is a project that India and Thailand have also talked about.
I see. So it will be a very important project 300, more than 3,000 kilometers
Yes,
altogether.
that's true. That's true.
When you expect this thing to start officially?
It's already
Construction.
started, and the feasibility studies have been done. And originally, the trilateral highway was supposed to pass through certain hills and valleys in Myanmar, but upon the request of the Myanmar authorities, the routing has been changed a little bit because the connectivity with Mandalay already exists. It's more important at the moment, and of course, the feeder routes can be built later on.
Yes.
So I think by mutual agreement, that original alignment has been shifted a little bit along that portion of the highway. But
Construction work when
construction work had already started. As I told you, it's a question of now improving upon the
existing roads. Yes.
by building the 72 extra bridges or strengthening them, as the case may be, widening those roads, and also at the same time building roads in the portions that do not have this connectivity or the road. So therefore, this project should be completed by 2016. This is the deadline that was set between our
About
Prime
4
Minister
years
in 4 years' time.
now.
Yes,
I see.
4 years' time from now. But before that, we are very significantly this year also going to start a rally. And that rally is going to pass through the ASEAN countries and will
Yes.
pass through Thailand twice, and then will connect up to India through Myanmar.
I see.
So that will test the routing. We've already had a dry run. So of course you can even today drive all the way up to India from Thailand.
Starting from Thailand. I
Yes,
see.
starting from Thailand, and in fact you can also go down to other countries. But what we need is a highway which can take container traffic,
I see.
which can allow movement of goods in bulk. And once that happens, then it will become economically viable to use this highway for our trade.
I
So that's
see.
what we are aiming at.
What about the rally, Excellency? You mentioned when you're going to organize that?
The rally is going to be organized in the month of November and December, towards late November and early December.
I see.
And it's going to also pass through Thailand. In cities like Phuket and in Bangkok, we are going to
Yes.
hold marker events to commemorate this rally. In Phuket, we will be holding a food festival,
I see.
Indian food festival,
I see.
and that food festival will also happen in Bangkok. But in Bangkok, we have a special performance of a special Bharatnatyam troupe, which will be performing on the 3rd of December, on the 2nd of December. And on the 3rd, the rally will be flagged off from Bangkok for its onward journey. Along the route or before that, we've also thought about some business events. So in the morning, we will be, for example, holding a business event between India and Thailand,
Yes.
focusing very much on the northeast of India, for example,
I
connecting the northeast of India to Thailand, and also focusing upon the new areas of our cooperative relationship.
I see. And Excellency, what about the events you plan for Myanmar in this trilateral highway scheme?
Like I said, like we are holding these events for Thailand,
Yes.
both cultural and business, we'll also be holding similar events in Myanmar,
Yes.
which our mission in Myanmar is organizing. And the same goes for other ASEAN countries as well. So as a result, a total of about 50 events
50
are being held
50.
all over ASEAN
I see.
by
Between
India.
November and December this year?
With November and December. Some are even being held earlier, like in October onwards. And it's not just the rally. We also have, as part of this summit, a sailing ship called
Yes.
Sudarshini, which will be visiting some ASEAN countries, and it will also visit Thailand, for instance.
Yes.
And again, this will happen in January and February of 2013. So we will have a different business event focusing on other topics.
Yes.
In particular, as I said, the building of our ports and the connectivity by sea, for instance. So as part of that, this project of connecting Chennai, for example, our port in India,
Yes.
with the development of Dave will also be talked about, because that will cut down the amount of time taken for the movement of goods
Yes.
from this part of the world into Chennai, into India, by at least 3 days, from 6
3
days to
days.
3 days. So it's a very important aspect of this connectivity, for which will benefit all the ASEAN countries and India, Thailand in particular.
Yeah. So this physical connectivity look like to be to materialize quite soon, in about 3-4 years from now.
Yes, hopefully, I think in the next 3 or 4 years, we will see much better connectivity and movement of goods between India and Thailand and ASEAN in general. We are also at the same time moving on a parallel track by liberalizing our trade and investments and services. And for example, with Thailand, we have an ongoing negotiation as we speak today. Negotiators are discussing the bilateral comprehensive economic agreement with Thailand, and that should cover goods, investment and services. In parallel, we are also negotiating a free trade agreement with the ASEAN countries, and later on the ASEAN plus 6 negotiations negotiations also begin. So there are 3 tracks to this whole process.
Multiple tracks.
Multiple tracks.